Na program zaprasza Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego.
Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily Business. Poland and Denmark will cooperate together on sea-based wind farms. Poland's Minister of Energy, Krzysztof Tchórzewski, said, "We have decided to harness the power of the sea." The high-level agreement was signed during the United Nations COP24 climate conference in the southern Polish city Katowice. Earlier this year, both countries regulated legal issues concerning the planned Baltic Pipe project, a pipeline connecting Poland and Norway's gas fields. The German-Russian consortium Nord Stream AG has announced that it will proceed with laying pipes at the bottom of the Baltic Sea in the Finnish economic zone next week. The Nord Stream 2 gas pipe is hotly contested in Poland and Central Europe, while being supported by German companies. The United States also objects to the project, but is still withholding sanctions over the company's involvement. Instead of taking action, the US House of Representatives called on European states to impose their own sanctions on Moscow. Russia now controls over 40% of natural gas imports to Europe, and Nord Stream 2 will increase that volume by effectively blocking access to US-based LNG imports. The new pipeline will also jeopardize the economic and political standings of Ukraine. Thank you very much for joining me here this evening at Poland Daily Business. I'm John Carter. Now it's over to Alexander Wierzewski.
You're watching Poland Daily Business Edition. Tonight our guest is Paweł Nierada, Deputy CEO of Polish Development Bank, BGK. Sir, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Well, we will talk tonight about the project called Three Seas Fund. That's potentially €100 billion fund. Right now is rather smaller. But let's say, what are the projects like that this initiative is going to finance?
The fund is about actually bridging the gap between the west part of European Union and the new countries, if you like, and the east part, because it's actually quite visible how much of a distance is between the development of infrastructure, broadly understood infrastructure, ranging from railways, roads, through energy infrastructure, gas pipeline, electricity, with the digital infrastructure on the other end. So it's going to focus on actually developing and removing the bottlenecks in this part of the world, which in turn actually will clearly impact the overall economy and the GDP growth in all these countries.
So we are speaking about smoothing the traffic of the goods and services, increasing the volume of the internal trade.
Well, definitely. Sometimes even sort of enabling certain interconnections, because if just by looking how much time you can take when you travel, I don't know, from Berlin to Madrid, and how much by train, and then how much time it takes to go from Warsaw to Budapest. It's just a clear example where we are and how much there is to be done.
Right. Any particular projects are in the development right now?
Well, last September, during the Three Seas Summit in Bucharest, there was the list of about 70 projects that was officially adopted as the sort of leading-in projects. And clearly they are on the different stage, different scale, but this is the sort of starting point. So this is the list that the fund should look at and see, and whether these are the viable projects, or the bankable projects. But I think what we are talking about is not limited to the list of projects, because I could clearly see a situation where the new initiatives will emerge that will be definitely worth looking at.
Okay, so we will see how it's going to develop. But the one question that arises right now is, we have European Union, and we have the structural funds of the European Union that are designed just for that, to smoothing out, to building infrastructure, especially on the eastern parts of the common market.
But we all know we will be living in probably more difficult time, if you like, in terms of money, because Britain is most likely going to exit the European Union. So we have to create a tool, and the 3Cs fund is this complementary tool to support, to co-invest, to further the investments, and actually also a tool to attract more money, because we won't be looking, obviously the co-sponsors, the national development banks like we are for Poland from the region will be the co-sponsors, co-investors, but we are also aiming to reach further to attract the reputable money, reputable investors from other kind of places in the world, also, you know, US, Norwegian funds, Israeli, or even far east money. So it's about complementary, it's about supporting the growth, it's about additionality.
When you take the projects and evaluate the projects, do you see it as a short term or a long term? Do you have this long-term view, and how does it looks in the paper in this, because it's difficult to put the long-term profits in a Excel sheet.
Well, by definition, the fund is going to be infrastructure fund, and these funds are looking in the longer horizon. We are talking about 10, 15 years, and also the nature of this project, the investment fund will be different. It will be probably generating less profit, because we have to bear in mind it's going to be, you know, usual regular business oriented fund which will be generating profits for its shareholders. Okay. It's not a subsidy. Yeah?
So 20 years from now we will be talking about successful projects of 3Cs.
Hopefully
funds.
Earlier, but the last ones should be ending in 20 years.
Paweł Nierada, thank you very much for coming to the show. The Deputy CEO of Polish Development Bank, or BGK, was our guest, and that was it for tonight's Poland Daily Business.
Program powstał przy współpracy z Bankiem Gospodarstwa Krajowego.